Man, it's been a good day right now. I'm sitting on the toilet. I just met my band Neymar, and I met Kim Kardashian, and I met my boy Ethan Abapi and all of them. You feel what I'm saying? But
There's no way that you're able to associate yourself with those type of people unless you are a part of something sinister, unless you understand certain things that they understand on a certain level that the majority of the masses may not understand when it comes to the dark arts and the sinister element, going back to the connection to esotericism and Luciferianism. You saw that gesture there. Certain people on face value, they look at it on the surface as Illuminati or something dark. They don't really understand what it really goes back to. Certain people do, but we understand what it's in reference to when it comes to the understanding as the Eye of Hathor, in which the Luciferian system, the entertainment industry, they worship these pagan gods. They worship these pagan goddesses. Hathor, being a counterpart to Horus, is for the left eye. So he covered his right eye, which reference, the understanding of Hathor, for the left eye. Or the mother goddess, the entity that's based in the feminine, the moon, so on and so forth. On the right, you have the sun, which is in reference to Horus. The eye of Horus is when you highlight the right eye. So he highlighted his left eye, letting you know. And this is what they do. They worship the system. So it's not just something that's limited to the left eye. He just did that because that's just a part of it. He could have did it with the right eye. It would have been the same, the same type of effect or reference in regards to the umbrella of Luciferianism. Not the same reference, but just, the same effect in regards to the understanding, because it's all under the same umbrella. And he's a part of that system, just like Kai Cenat, most of these streamers. When it comes to this understanding, we see it on a level that's, not to be demeaning, but higher than the average person. You have to be privy to a certain level of understanding when it comes to context with, the Babylonian mystery school system, the pagan understanding, the fount, so on and so forth. You have to have understanding in order for you to really know what they signal and what they convey in regards to these celebrities, And they do it a lot, especially when it comes to these interviews and whatnot, these gestures, they show it a lot. You just have to pick up on it when it comes to connecting the dots. You know what I mean? That's the system that they're under. Whenever you see these celebrities push this whole sun element, we already understand what that is. Whenever they push the number 33 and you see it in a way where sometimes it's simultaneous with other numbers or other appearances of the number 33, they do it in a certain way where it's like an underlying conveyance or a surreptitious way. Like the whole situation with Damar Hamlin, where you had the whole ritual with the three, and ESPN, they covered it, and they had two people with the mics where the E was backwards to represent three. It was supposed to represent the number 3, but it was 3 and 3 representing number 33 for enlightenment, things like that. Not to digress, but just spieling. So let's just go on. And there's no way, I guess it's just me going on. There's no way that you're able to do a commercial with a guy like Tom Brady or Kevin Durant unless you are a part of something that the average person may not understand. It's not just about talent.
Oh, these KDs are fire. KD, you work here?
You think I appeared out of magic smoke because I work a 9 to 5?
I can still beat you in 1v1, right?
Whatever, kid. Take notes.
Yo, Speed.
Suni Lee? Bro.
You really think you can outflip me?
Hold my hokas.
That's cute.
Yo, I can go all pro in these.
Bro, you ain't even all that. I can guard you and route you up.
You sure about that?
Well, not anymore.
Fellas looking for a quarterback?
The goal! I thought you retired.
Billy needs cleats. You're right, Billy. These do bring out my eyes.
Every shoe for every athlete, only at Dick's.
So a few things with this commercial, as you can see, when it comes to certain elements of underlying conveyance in reference to MK Ultra or the elements that come from MK Ultra, as well as the esotericism, and it's all intertwined. When it comes to MK Ultra, it gets its inspiration from, the elements going back to the Babylonian mystery school system, the pagan, the Luciferian, the esoteric, so on and so forth. So with this commercial, you see certain elements of it. I know I keep saying the word element, but, I guess it's apropos. You see certain elements of it here where at first Kevin Durant, who is a Saturnian, he worships the Shekinah. He highlights the number 7. He references the number 7 a lot. He wears the all black, which is in reference to Saturn as well as Osiris, in the rendition of Osiris as the god of the underground, not the sun god element. He was reborn as the sun god, representing rebirth. Him coming out of, from the bottom, Kevin Durant represented the element of Osiris, the worship of the underground. The all black is in reference to Osiris as well as Saturn. They wear all black for Saturn as well as Osiris, and Osiris's rendition as the god of the underground until he was reborn after being killed to, Horus, the sun god. Even the rising from the underground represented a form of rebirth, which is also the element that you saw on the commercial. So, they convey that, as well as Travis Hunter, with the multiple levels of programming, when it comes to multiple programming, or I think it's like MPD, multiple personality disorder. That was something that was conveyed as well when it comes to Travis Hunter being split into 2 Travis Hunters. And then obviously we see Tom Brady on the GOAT. We already know what the GOAT represents. So this is something that we see a lot just when it comes to the entertainment industry and their conveyances.
Hey, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Kai here, a.k.a. Casanet, and today is the mother-flipping day. Yes, that is right. I am finally making my first YouTube video. I know a bunch of y'all been asking me, Kai, why haven't you made a YouTube channel yet? Kai, where is your YouTube channel? You need to start your YouTube channel, you know what I'm saying? I am finally starting YouTube, all thanks to you guys. You guys have shown me so much support throughout this year. I don't know, man. You guys have shown me a lot of support, and now I am bringing the payback to you. You know what I'm saying? You get me, you feel me, you get me.
So this right here obviously was the introduction, at least on YouTube. And you can see the black, white, and red. When it comes to these people who are behind these cameras and doing these streams, most of them are in the know. YouTube, ever since 2020, they've used to pretty much push Luciferianism on a certain level where you can tell that they try to normalize like the average everyday activity in terms of like with celebrities, I mean. So like when you see streamers and stuff like that, that's just something that you see and, they just chilling, doing their own little thing. But they try to normalize it with celebrities to make you get accustomed to them. So when you see a Kai Cenat who's blossomed into what he is now, based off of his trajectory, it's obvious that this person was someone who was doing certain things behind the scenes. Now, when he first came on the scene, he wasn't a celebrity, but he had to have been doing certain things behind the scene because there's no way that this person was able to blossom the way he has. You feel what I'm saying? When it comes to certain people and their origins in terms of these celebrities like a Aiden Ross or a Speed, it's based off of certain things they did behind the scenes even before they was on camera. And their willingness to continue to compromise themselves. This is why you have a group called AMP. Any means possible, because they're letting you know that they're willing to do anything in order for them to get at a certain level. AMP is obvious within the name. So this person, Kai Cenat, is a huge sellout. But what did he sell out? He didn't sell out anybody that's, a fan of his. He sold his own self out. Like when it comes to people who sell themselves out, you can't look at like, oh, they sold their fans out. They sold their cult following out. No, they sold them own selves out. When it comes to certain people who listen and follow these people, it's up to you to understand and decide whether or not this is for you and, this is for your consumption. You got to put things in proper perspective when it comes to what you're following. This is what I'm trying to get to. Like, It's pretty much a thing of understanding how to separate the meat from the bones. You could like this person, but understand what it is about. Take it for what you take it for. But if you're somebody that's hypnotized and you're a golem and you just believe anything, you follow anything, you're gullible, then you're somebody that's going to be down with the program. You're going to be down with the cult following. But you're not necessarily going to be sold out because that's him and his decision. You can change. You can be elucidated, understand what's right, as opposed to what you think is right because you're watching a streamer and you're a fan of his. But it's very important for us to understand what these people are about, especially if you see certain like symbols that correlate with things we understand, or hand signs, or just motifs, whatever. You always have to use your antennas in these days that's revelatory,